My name's Emma Crawley, this is my 1993 Escort Cosworth and this is my 2013 Defender 110. I am a dog groomer. I've had my own salon now in Surrey for 5 years. Absolutely love it, wouldn't change anything. I've got 3 girls in there and we're doing super well. We've won tons of awards. I've just recently got into competitive grooming as well, so doing competitions, online competitions. Things are starting to relax now with COVID, so we're actually able to attend competitions with dogs as well. So that's kind of my next career move, is competitive grooming. But yeah, I wouldn't want to do anything else. I have loved animals, specifically dogs, but all animals, since I can remember. My mum is actually highly allergic to pretty much any animal with fur. So growing up, we couldn't have a pet dog at home, and for me that was just the worst thing. So as soon as I was old enough and I guess I could do something that would mean I'm around dogs all the time, I did, and I went into grooming, and yeah, I love it. Shaving wise, we get a lot of requests for like love hearts, stars, all these sort of things that people find cute. I do like a little bit more extreme stuff, so making a dog into a tiger or a zebra, that's always quite fun. We did recently turn one of our Westies into a zebra, and it looked amazing. One of the best things about owning the salon is that I've employed some girls that have equal amounts of passion as I do for dogs and grooming, and it's just nice to see them climbing up the ladder and getting to a point in which they're as excited about the industry as I am. So when I passed my driving test, I wanted a Defender. Mum was totally against it. I was all for it. My stepdad took me shopping for one and we found my first car. It's a blue 90 300 TDI. I instantly fell in love with it, and yeah, I've had that. I've still owned that car. It's off the road at the moment, having a bit of TLC done, but I will never get rid of her because I am emotionally attached to that car, very much so. One, obviously it was my first car, but also it is what got me into cars. So I actually started doing some off-roading and green laning in that. I joined a local off-roading club because I'd never done it before. Obviously I'd only just passed my driving test, so I was hardly a very good driver on road, let alone off-road. And I tagged along to some green lane days, some off-roading experiences, and totally fell in love. I started green laning, as I said, when I first got Blue. She's fully kitted out for off-roading, so I was like ready to go. And yeah, we've done quite a few green lanes in and around Surrey, everything from mud, water, steep hill climbs, sand, so all different sort of terrains, and it's just such good fun. One of the first times I went off-roading, I did actually roll Blue, completely rolled her in the middle of a forest, essentially. It was quite scary, but we winched her up with a few other landies I was with, winched me up, pulled us down to a bit of a flat. The rear suspension had come completely out, but we jacked her up in the middle of essentially a stream, bashed the rear suspension in with a giant log, dropped her back down on it, and off we went. And that, I think, is the point in which I was like, this car could survive a zombie apocalypse, so I will forever love this car and I will never be getting rid of her. And that's just spurred me on from that point. So the reason I got the Cosworth, obviously I was totally in love with the Defender, but when I sort of started to develop my love for cars and attending shows and festivals, yes, there's Land Rover shows, but you know, the cool car shows, if you want to call it that, there's a real eclectic mix, and I wanted a car that I could take to those sort of shows. So then I started looking at what I liked, what would suit me. The Escort Cosworth for me personally has always been just an iconic car, especially in Imperial Blue. It's what you see on the posters and the postcards, and just thought I've got to have one. I just think the Escort Cosworth is a punchy little car. It's got serious attitude, it's a bit chavvy, it's a bit asbo. You can rag this around and it not look out of place, and I just love that. I love a car with a bit of attitude and a bit of sass. I've actually owned the car for 4 years now. It's only really been on the road for the last year. Had tons of work done on it, but when we have had it out and on the road, you do get, it's a certain type of person, I'll be honest, it's an older category of people. The younger generation that aren't really so much into cars, I don't think have any idea what this is. So that's kind of another thing that I do like, because it is a little bit understated if you don't know anything about cars. So I love going to shows, mainly for the people. Like, I've got tons of friends now in the car world, if you want to call it that drive all sorts of cars, but I like going to shows where you get a real mix. So like Players, for example, at Goodwood is like one of my favourite shows, because you get everything there, and I get to see faces that I know through social media. So it's quite nice to then put a face to a car, so to speak, and actually chat to people. But yeah, my first show was Players of this year. We went to Goodwood in it for the 2 days, had it on show there. It got a lot of love, a lot of attention, which is really nice, because when you put so much work into something, it's nice for other people to appreciate it. When I go to shows, I like to have 2 main products with me, one of which is definitely window and glass, because especially most shows are quite far away from me. So fingerprints, bugs, bird poop, you name it, you know it's always on there by the time you rock up to the show. And secondly is a detail spray. I do at home, it gets properly waxed and then stored in the garage, but when I turn up to a show, I like to have just a detail spray to freshen it up, because this is fresh paint, so when it's clean it really pops. So yeah, after being on the road, getting all that grime on it, it's nice to get it freshened up for everyone to look at. Originally when I picked the car up, it was a Rallis blue, which is like a moonstone blue. And then where I was having so much work done on it, and a few sort of mods done, it wasn't going to be completely original and a completely standard car. So I thought, why not go all out, have it completely resprayed to the colour that I see as an Escort Cosworth, as that iconic image, which is the Imperial Blue. So yeah, I've had it resprayed in that colour. I'm super happy, because when I put that in and the guys painting it were doing it, I did have a moment of doubt and think, oh my God, have I completely screwed this up by not keeping it original? But I'm so pleased it's turned out the way it has. Some of the Ford fanatics might not be overly keen on it. It's rear-wheel drive converted. I've painted it Imperial Blue. Under the bonnet there's a few sparkly purple bits, but it's what I wanted, so I'm over the moon with it. The Defender I drive every day to and from work. The only thing I try and keep on top of is the interior. Sometimes I bring the smell of the salon back home with me in the car, so I use an odour refresher just to keep it fresh and nice. Next year, plan is me, Cosy, windows down, music blaring, attending every possible show I can, because this year I only managed to get to one. So yeah, next year it's just going to be out as much as possible.